welcome to the Wealth Roundtable. I am so excited. I am your host. My husband's not here today, but I have two amazing friends that we're going to hang out with. So it's all that plus tax. But I am your host, Sean Venable, the Wealth Mindset Motivator. My husband and I are on an ambitious mission to redefine wealth, what it truly means. Wealth holistically, mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, socially, relationally, all of that spiritually. And tonight we are going to have just a conversation that you get to, love to say, eavesdrop in with two of my really good girlfriends, previous co-workers, and just amazing leaders in their own right. And tonight's topic is talking about being a leader or working in corporate America, having a 9 to 5, and balancing that with entrepreneurship. So for myself, I consider myself the 9 to 5 corporate athlete. God has blessed me in the space of executive leadership in corporate America, and I absolutely love what I do. I do it with a spirit of serving. I do it just from a place of a gift that I've given, and my gifts have definitely made room for me. God has sat me at tables, so many that I never expected that I could be at. And at the same time, He put this thing inside of me to birth forth businesses, creative and witty ideas, and to be able to not only create multiple streams of income through that, but also be a blessing to others, share that blueprint with them by which they can go out and do the same. But tonight, we are here to talk to two amazing ladies who have absolutely done that, continue to do it, and we're going to share their stories. So, by way of introduction, Miss Vanessa, I see you on my screen first. I am going to ask you to introduce yourself by way of who you are, what you do, and how you add value. And I love to say it. Let's go.
All right. Thank you, Sean. I'm so happy to be here and so thrilled just to see the mission and vision that both your husband and you have created and started. And it's just so exciting to see that you grow and develop in this space. And just thank you for having me. But my name is Vanessa Fluckus. I have the awesome opportunity to serve a dynamic group of quality professionals at a medical device company that they're all over this world, actually, globally, investigating product complaints. That's what I do by day. And then nights and weekends, my husband and I have a food service business where we have a food truck, we do catering, weddings, any kind of event involving food, we're there. We love to serve in that capacity. And it's just so exciting to see what God is doing for our family in that space.
I love it. I love it. And I love you. Miss Shorni, you are up next. Who you are, what you do, how you add value. Let's go.
Hi, Sean. Hi, Vanessa. I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is so exciting. I mean, Sean, we go way back. Guys, my name is Shorni Hardy, and recently I became a mom. So I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I know, right? Yay! And my regular 9 to 5, I'm a quality professional. I lead a team for quality system at a gene cell therapy company. We're just starting up, so it's a startup, and it's a lot of work. So that's my regular 9 to 5. And then on the weekends or whenever I get time, I am also a filmmaker, and that takes a lot of time. So I'm busy making films and putting smiles on people's faces and motivating people. So that's that. I guess that's me.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm so excited. Like y'all are just amazing because there's definitely like this global ring to what you all do, and I even see it in your business as you expand, having that global outreach. So that is amazing. All right, so tonight we're gonna get into the nitty gritty. We're gonna like tell a little bit of the secret sauce of how we do what we do. We're gonna talk about some barriers and hurdles that we've had to come overcome internally and externally. And so, Vanessa, I really want to start with you. How did you start moving in the space of entrepreneurship? Like I know you're highly degreed, you've gone to school, you're just educated, you're the bomb dot diggity com, as I say. But how did you start moving in the space of wanting more for you?
Now, if you really want to know where it all started from, it started as a child. My mom was an entrepreneur. I had my first role with her in, she was a hairstylist. She had her own hair salon, and I worked at her boutique on the weekends, selling handbags or makeup or what have you. Every Monday night, we would go and clean up the shop because that's what, business owners do that have hair salons. Um, so it's all that bug has always been in me. I had my first business when I was probably in fifth or sixth grade. I had a barn pizza business during the summer where my mom made pizzas and I sold pizza out of the shed in the backyard. And I've just always had the bug to, whether it was Girl Scouts or selling candy at school, I always knew that I enjoyed just having my own thing, just, serving people and just having my own thing. I went to grad school where, in business, and a lot of the concepts and coursework that I did came very natural to me. Understanding finance, marketing, it was fun. It wasn't, like work or a challenge. Like my first degree chemistry was, a lot of working, extra work, struggling trying to get there. Business has never been that way for me. Um, and then I think the food business or hospitality in general, wanting to see other people happy and making people feel warm and welcome has always been a spiritual gift of mine that I've enjoyed to do. Um, and then it came about probably in the late 90s. I wanted a barbecue trailer. For whatever reason, I just wanted a barbecue restaurant. And that was before all of the big food trucks came about. I found a course in Texas, flew out there on my own, learned how to, grill meats and how to start up food trucks. Then I came back to North Carolina to start my own food truck. I was excited, went down to the fairgrounds and said, "Hey, I got this idea for a food truck." And they were like, "There's no way the health department is going to allow you to sell food out of a truck." So I kind of got my dreams shattered at that point, and it was just kind of like on hiatus, I'll say, until I got married. And I got married in 2013. My husband was in the food industry there in Kenya. So he's from Kenya. I'm from here. And he was in hospitality here, worked at one of the major steakhouses here. And I kept saying, we need to open up a food truck. And he was like, "No, I don't want to do that. I want a restaurant." I'm like, "No, food trucks work. We can really do this." But it wasn't until the pandemic hit that we and his job kind of, reduced hours. You know how everything was going during the pandemic. That he was like, "I can't sit here idle." So we got a trailer and he just started building that food truck by himself. In March 2021, we had our grand opening and we've been full throttle ever since with the food truck. So we did some catering back in 2019. So it was a slow progression. So we knew we wanted to do, it wasn't work. It was fun. We went out there, we served people were happy. They enjoyed the food. And from there, we've just been food truck, catering, weddings, church events, corporate events. We call it a food experience because we want people to come away feeling different when they've had our food. It's authentic Kenyan food, and we just want to bring something different to people and just let them have a great experience.
Vanessa, I absolutely love what you said. I always say I listen for the revelation, and there were a few things that stuck out for me. Number one, you are walking in purpose. So when it came to the aspect of business, it's not that there's never been a challenge. It's not that you've never faced anything, but you were graced to do it. And so what is ordinarily art for others, you walk so gracefully in because God has graced you to do it. So I love that in operating in purpose or his purpose for your life. And then the other thing is that God gave you the dream a long time ago. And sometimes people misconstrue or they see you and you're putting things out and you're in this space and you're moving in business and they think, how did she just do that? He may have given you the dream 10 years prior. And
Right.
now it's time to move in that. So I applaud you for recognizing when the open door happened and walking therein. I'm so proud of you. Miss Shorni. Or what were you going to say, Vanessa?
Oh, I was going to say, I think God also knew that I couldn't do it by myself, that I needed a co-partner to co-labor with me in order to make it and take it to the next level. Because there's no way I could have managed a food truck, 15, 20 years ago by myself. It wouldn't have been right. So it was timing, and it was God's timing.
Oh, timing and God timing. So if
Mm.
you're listening, put it in the chat. Timing and God timing. That is a wealth nugget. Miss Shorni, you are up. How did you get your start?
Oh my gosh. So similar to Vanessa's childhood. So my when I was very young, I saw my mom. My mom had a business and in Jamaica. So I'm from Jamaica, everyone. I'm Caribbean, and she had a bag. We call it a bag juice factory. Her little factory that she built, and so it's really juice in bags, and she would freeze them and sell them, go around and sell them. And so she had a little shop as well, and I would work in the shop around age 12, 13. I'm working in the shop. And so that was already inside of me. But then when I went to school, I didn't really pursue business because I don't know if I really liked it or anything. I knew I wanted to eventually, I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to be my own boss, but I wasn't sure what the direction was. So I went to school for science. In the hopes of maybe becoming a doctor. And that did not pan out, of course, because later on I find out that that's not for me. That is not my ministry. So I ended up in the pharmaceutical industry, and it just happened that so I lived in Massachusetts for about 10 years, and my husband and I moved down to North Carolina. And when we moved down, I lost my job. And so it was a moment for me to just use that time to reflect and start really reevaluating myself and really understanding, okay, what is it that I really want? And so I used that time to just really I started to get in tune with myself, and I started writing, and I realized that I actually like storytelling. And I could remember when I was younger, I used to just put stories together, because I have this wild imagination. You want to call it crazy imagination, but I do. And then I started writing at that moment. And then when by the time I look at it, I had about like 50 or 60 pages already written of stories. And then it just happened. My husband, we're talking about maybe I should write a book, but it didn't go that way. We decided that I thought I mentioned to him. I said, "What about maybe we could film this because it's a really cool story and it's about Christmas and Santa Claus and all of that." And so I started researching how to film because I didn't go to school for filming. I went to school for science, right? And so I know nothing about filming. And so I went on to Google and went on to Craigslist. And I saw casting call for jurors. And it was an opportunity for me to be on set and kind of just understand how that whole, operation works, right? And so when I went, I submitted and they accepted me. And when I went on to the set, I fell in love instantly. And the kicker was that there was a woman that was directing her movie. She had written, she had produced it, and she was like a boss lady. And I was like, yes, that's what I want to do. And then I just, I came to life when I start writing more and more. And I asked her for some tips, and then they just start, you know, um, submitted to other places and just learning and learning. Before I know it, I was writing my own movie. And I produced my first movie in 2017, I want to say. Yay. Um, and that movie has been shown all over the world at film festivals, at churches, different organizations, internationally. And we won several awards. So my first movie was about provision, and it really was about a man who lost everything, and then but his faith, and then God restored everything to him threefold, right? And so from there, I thought I had nothing left, but my mom said to me, "Hey, if that one came out of you, there is a lot more inside of that big head of yours." And so I wrote my second movie a year or two afterwards. It's called My Three Boys. And this one was based on true life events. And it's about a woman who passed away from ovarian cancer, leaving her three boys, and her sister raising her three boys. So it goes through the struggles, the ups and downs, you know. And that one won a multitude of awards as well. And then I realized that, hey, I got something here, right? You know, and I felt like this is my purpose, this is my calling. And so there had been a lot of ups and downs because there were times when I thought that I wasn't good enough, or the things, the material that I've written, that nobody would really read them. Because I can remember once in college where a teacher told me that my writing was grossly deformed. And so having that, you know, negative voice in your head, sometimes I start reflecting on it, and then the fear takes over. And so I had to sort of just push through that. I had to get people around me that support me, that knows me, that's able to see the greatness in me and push it out. Say, Shorni, you can do this. So I had to overcome that fear, and not really dwell on the negativity, right? So when you make a movie and when you put that work out there, you become, you know, you're vulnerable. And so you're going to receive a lot of feedback, right? And a lot of them hurts, right? It does. And so you just have to have that thick skin and realizing you're doing you regardless, you know. It is going to bless who it's meant to bless. And you're not for everyone, and that's okay, you know. But, you know, God has given me the vision, the purpose. He has put the greatness in me, and I'm pushing forward, honey. That's what I'm pushing forward.
Listen, I love that. Like I have chill bumps as you were speaking, because that is actually the next thing that I wanted to tap into, and you really open up the segue for that. Um, Although you have been called, you have been chosen to do a thing, God has put a gift inside of you. I believe that there are so many people that are walking this earth with untapped potential. Like it is not maximized at all, because either internally we wrestle and we become stuck, or externally those external voices around us, now we allow to seep inside of us to minimize what God has put inside of us, to even stop or paralyze us. So, Vanessa, I'm going to ask you this question in terms of maybe some of the biggest obstacles or challenges that you've had to face, whether it's internal or external, or still are overcoming, right? What is that, and how have you or are you working through that process? And I'm just going to preface it with this. A lot of times people can see us and they can see that we feel so confident, right? Because sometimes you're able to put that external shell out. Internally, you're shaking in your boots. And so, for ladies that may think you have it all together, but you're like, if you only had a clue what I deal with, I really want to speak to that piece of it. So, Vanessa, I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I think the biggest hurdle for has been the woman in the mirror. It's been myself. And starting the job that I have during the pandemic was probably a big step that I've taken, leading a team, and just wondering, okay, am I doing it right? How was the last person? I came in the middle of you know a reorg. So, am I living up to the expectations? Am I, addressing issues? It's always been, just the struggle on that job with just myself. Um, and so how I've come to overcome that, and in the business, it hasn't really been that difficult, because it's my baby. I create the systems, I create the rules. I'm the boss, I got this. Um, but there are some times when I am setting prices per se, and I'm thinking, are people really going to pay this? Oh my goodness, it's like doubting it, but God has placed it before us to do, and just keep walking in it. So how I deal with the two, with the day job and the business, is I think you have to look self-care first. You have to take care of yourself, in order to have the energy to do both the corporate and the business, the side hustle. You have to eat right. I'm learning. This is all still a work in progress, right? I have to have my time, meditation time, and time that I can renew my mind so I can get back on track. and take my vitamins and do my exercise and drink my water. I know that sounds so basic, but for me, if you're not healthy, you don't have the fuel that it takes to think on the 9 to 5, because we all know it's challenging. It's a, a zoo at times. And then after work, coming and settling down so I can focus on the business. Um, so for me, it's been that piece, making sure I have the right fuel, and then productivity, setting small bite-sized goals for myself that I can achieve daily. Because we put a lot on ourselves. Like I want to do everything. And starting out, you have to do everything. You are the bookkeeper, you are the marketing person, the salesperson, answering emails, cooking the food, buying the food. You're doing everything. And so you have to realize that you're human, and that you have to set small goals for yourself, and just every day work to the best that you can, and don't worry about you didn't get it all done. You won't ever get it all done. It's just you have to keep on moving, keep on putting one step in front of the other, and by the end of it you'll be so amazed at how far you've come. But it's the fueling yourself, both with the physical food and the spiritual food, and then setting that vision for yourself, and then each day taking those small steps to getting to where you want to go. That's where I am. Am I perfect at it? No. I Some days I get up and I don't do my devotion like I say I'm going to do, but the next day I get back on track and I just start from there. And I just keep working, and God just keeps bringing ideas for new business ideas, new concepts. Can I do it all right now? Probably not, but I get up every day and I just do what I can for that day.
That was so good. That's like a whole master class of setting the vision and setting the goals and the small bite-sized goals, and reminding yourself that you're human and the inner work. I think people often just they minimize the importance of that. But if we are not here, if we are not healthy, then we can't carry it. And I am learning that you need strength not only for the journey, but strength for the harvest. You need strength to plant the seed. You need strength to watch it grow with patience, and you need strength to reap that harvest. So I thank you for those amazing nuggets. I'm telling y'all, listen, if you're listening, fill up the chat, write it down. This is so good. Go back and listen to the replay when we put it out. All
Oh,
right, Miss.
great,
Yes,
great,
Miss Shorny.
great.
What about you? What have you overcome? Are you currently overcoming? Either way, and how are you navigating that journey?
So, for me, it's actually my business. Really, it's my business. Yes, I set the rules, I develop it, I do everything. But I think that's, you know, my my biggest fear, and I don't want to say it's fear, but my biggest hurdle is me getting in front of my way, if that makes sense, right? I have to always just remind myself that I got it, I can do this, and giving myself grace. A lot of times that we're just doing this and we're going and we don't stop to give ourselves grace. If you fail, it's okay. Realizing that it's all right. And I failed plenty of time. I failed very good. I'm telling you, I mess up a lot. But it's just realizing that it's okay. I'm learning. I remember the first time I put the first movie out, and I got back some really nasty comments, and it hurts, and you feel like in that space you feel like you want to give up, right? And you don't want to do it again, because like I said, when you put that when you put it, you're putting yourself out there when you put those stories out, because people are gonna they're gonna tear you down, they're gonna criticize everything. And I got to remember that, okay, first of all, I didn't go to school for this, I am learning. I'm amateur, and what I did the last time, I probably won't do it this time. So I learned from that, and it's okay, you know. And I had to realize that I need to shut those things out, because it's, first of all, it's gonna tear you apart if you listen to those noises, right? And I also had to realize that I needed to put I need to be in a positive space, and I needed to have people around me that I call roots, not branches, because the branches and the leaves, they're going to fall off. So I
Yeah.
need some roots around me and people who really know me. I have maybe one or two folks that, when things are going to the left, I could call up and they know one time in my voice and they will pick me back up. And so those are the people that I keep close, people that's going to fill me up, right? Because a lot of times, I'm pouring into the business. I'm producing, I'm writing. I got to find location. I got to cast. I got to manage people's schedule, and it's so much. The corporate world doesn't bother me. It doesn't, like, I got that down, and I realized that I am not gonna, like, the corporate is not my passion. So my passion is my business. That's where it is. And so I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how do I want to perfect it. What I put up there, I want people to be able to take something from that. I want them, when they watch my content, they're smiling, it's blessing them. So how do I do that? So you put a lot on you. A lot of times you don't need to put a lot on you, because if God already put it in you, it's gonna be okay. But we as human, we still put on so much on us. So it's just really navigating through those spaces and really realizing that it's okay if you fail. You just learn from that and move on. And it's okay to give yourself grace. It's okay.
Oh my God, that is so good. As I was listening to you, I'm reflecting on both you and Vanessa with the hurdles. I see so much of myself in both of those stories. And I think that's why I love the fact that I was able to get both of you on stage, because you're in very similar um, places. And then you also have these awesome perspectives. For me, I think I started out being very fearful in the corporate space, because when I went in, God literally made room for me. I went in right after high school. I did not have a degree. I didn't have anything, and I started from the bottom rank. And God elevated me, moved me. I was able to, get credentials through the work. But there were so many times, because I was doing it before I was actually doing it, that I did not feel comfortable, or I did not feel that I was enough. And then when I started walking in that right of, what, actually I am enough because God said so, I was like, okay, I got this. I'm comfortable in this space. Will there be challenges, hard days? Yeah, of course. But God has graced me for it, and this is what it is. And then when He put that business aspect inside of me, I was like, oh gosh, Lord, this is something
Yeah.
new, something completely different. And so there were a lot of internal struggles. And now I'm starting to move out of that space. And God is doing other things in the corporate space. And I'm like, oh Lord. So I can see how it just transitions. The question that I would love, and Shorni, I will start with you first, is the top three transferable skills that you have been able to use, maybe interactively, between your business and your 9 to 5.
Absolutely. Number one, communication. So within my 9 to 5, I have to do a lot of presentation, right? And speaking in front of, once upon a time, people that I felt intimidated when I walk in the room, but not anymore because I got over that hurdle. So, and in my business, there are times when I have to give speeches. So I'm able to, and I have to give speeches in front of large amount of people. So that's one, communication and communicating in front of a huge audience. The other one are just the technical skills that I've learned, right? So whether it's editing or training and all of that, I'm able to use those skills that I've learned from my business. And like I mentioned, I failed a lot, but now, I'm in a better space and I'm getting very good at it. And I'm able to transfer those skills into my 9 to 5 because now they're looking for training and all of that. And I'm able to develop those content for them. So that's the other piece. And then just maybe me as a person, interpersonal skill. Did I just lose Sean?
Nope, I'm
Okay.
right here with you.
Just being fearless, honey, fearless, and knowing that when I walk in a room, I command that room. Yes.
Yes. Oh my. Ooh, communication. Your technical
Yes.
skills. and fearless. When you walk in it, you own it. All right,
Yes.
Miss Vanessa, you are up. Top three transferable skills that you use interchangeably.
I think for me, the top three would be project management. I do a lot of project management, team building at work. And then also need the same for my business. When you're planning weddings or any catering events, you need that whole project management skill. How to stay up on dates, how to get people what they need, because people are ultimately paying for a service. And I need to make sure that we're giving them the experience that they want. Second for us is compliance. In my day job, we deal a lot with the FDA and other regulators from other countries. And in the business, we have the same compliance issues. And we have the health department. We're in the middle of a food truck rodeo. I think last year, the line stops and the inspector comes on and she wants to inspect our food truck. And this is our first time, so we're like nervous as all
Like,
get out.
woo.
We got a line out the window, and then the inspector is here inspecting. But it goes back to, you're prepared, you're ready, you have the training, you stay ready. And so having that mindset of being in that compliance and quality mode has helped us in the food business. Um, and the third thing I would say in that my day job is being very patient focused, always thinking about having the patient at the end of the supply chain, right? Um, in the business, it's always the customer focused, making sure the customer has that experience from the time they place their order and to the time they receive their food, that their experience is pleasant. And whatever we do in between that, we always have them in mind with our product, our service.
Oh my gosh, that is so good. All right, so the last question of the evening, and I love this. I love y'all. I love. I really
We
do.
love you too, Sean.
Last question of the evening, Vanessa. I'm going to start with you. If there's someone that has joined in, even listening by way of replay, they are the former version of you. What advice would you give them so that they could completely excel and soar in all that God has assigned their hands to do?
Oh my gosh, this is talking to myself in regard to business and in general. Um, I would say to that person, you were ordained and set for this time and for this purpose, right? And that your thoughts and ideas are valid or and valued, right? And just because other people don't believe in your dream does not mean that that dream or that vision is not for you. Hold on to that dream. Walk into there's a verse that I really like, not a verse, but I remembered as a child. I can't remember it now that I got right here, but oh, I know what it is. Okay, I'm gonna say it just like she said it. Susan Taylor, Essence Magazine, probably when I was in the 6th grade. But nothing about you is haphazardous or accidental. You are a unique being. Step into the light, make peace, make love, make righteousness your reality for daily living. And for to me, that just sums it up. Whatever God has downloaded in you for a vision or a business, walk into it every day. Afraid, scared, shaking in your boots, walk into it because that idea that you have is of value and it's yours, that gift that God has given you, and you just need to walk into it and just keep moving and progressing. And if you don't fail, I think Shorni, you said you failed a lot, but if you don't fail, that means you're not doing anything. Because
Right.
if you don't fail, you're paralyzed. And you have to step out and you have to fail in order to get to success, right? That's what you have to do. So failure is a part of the process. And get comfortable with failure is what I would say because it's only going to take you to the next level of your success.
Ooh, so good. Like that's all I can say is ooh, so good. And listen, for those who may want to get in contact with you, may want to visit your food truck, how can they get in contact with you?
I would love for you to visit us. We are Safari Eats like safari, like I'm going to take you on a safari, and then eats, EATZ, on Facebook, Instagram. You can email me, Vanessa at Safari Eats, if you have questions. I'm also big into productivity. I have accountability partner. We do calls each week, that we're just always focused on that one big goal, and we just, sit together and try to just help each other to get to the next level. So thank you.
Absolutely love it. My pleasure. Miss Shorni, you're talking to yourself some years
Okay.
back. What are you going to tell
Okay.
yourself?
Yeah. So younger Shorny was very shy, and she walks with her head held down. So I would go up to younger Shorny and tell her to lift her head up so she can see where she's going, and let her know that it's okay. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay. It's part of it, right? But what I want you to do when the time comes, I want you to jump, because if you don't jump, you're gonna stay where you are. So I want you to take that leap of faith and jump, because God got you, okay? And He has ordained you for such a time as this. So it's okay. It's okay. Take the time that you need, but when the time comes, jump.
Oh, that was, and I keep saying it, that was so good. So good. Jump. You know, walk in it after you jump. So listen,
Yes.
what do you have coming up? How can people get in contact with you?
Oh, awesome. Okay, so please go to my website. It's www.ashardifilmproduction. We are branching out. We're branching out into the corporate world. We're doing corporate training and animation and advertisement and all of that. So if you're looking for to someone to help you, say brighten up your project or help you for it to be a little bit more engaging, just reach out to us. A Shorty Film Production. We're on Facebook, Shorty Film Production. We're on Instagram, a Shorty Film Production. And please go to my website, a Shorty Film Production.
And I love it, Shorty Field Productions. I love it. Well, ladies, this is a wrap. I've really enjoyed this time with you. It has been so amazing. Such a blessing to hear your stories, to hear your journey, to hear real life hurdles and challenges, and also to hear how you've overcome. Most importantly, to hear the words that you have spoken to that young lady that may be stuck, that may be fearful, that may not think that she is enough, and to know that she can do all things through Christ. So thank you so much for being on the show. To everyone that's joined, thank you so much for joining. Listen, share it out. Tell someone about it. Dwayne and I are here 7 o'clock on Thursdays Eastern Standard Time with our KBCN family. We just absolutely love what we do here and how we can share more about wealth from a holistic standpoint. So, ladies, we're going to do what we traditionally do. We are going to wave out and tell everybody bye. So let's wave out.
Hi.
Bye.
Bye.